Hello there, welcome to the European Parliament in Strasbourg for this latest edition of Talking Europe on France 24. Now, this city is a particularly apt place for discussing today's topic. Strasbourg lies on the Franco-German border in a region that's changed hands multiple times in its history, most recently annexation under Nazi Germany, then liberation after World War II. Well, earlier this week, President Macron and Chancellor Merkel signed off on a new version of the so-called Élysée Treaty, a document which has been the basis for 56 years of post-war cooperation. Well, today we're asking what this new relationship status is all about with our guests. We have French MEP Jean Arthuis from Emmanuel Macron's La République En Marche party with the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats in the European Parliament. Hello, Mr. Arthuis.
Hello.
And also here from Germany, MEP Arne Lietz from Germany's SPD, the Socialist Party governing in coalition with Angela Merkel's CDU. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you as well.
We're going to start off with a look at the signing of this updated treaty. This from our reporters at France 24.
Reaffirming their commitment to Franco-German friendship and European unity, Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel hope the Aachen Treaty can help counter growing Euroscepticism on the continent.
Populism and nationalism are becoming stronger. For the first time, with Great Britain, a country is leaving the EU. That's why we need a renewed commitment to our responsibility within the European Union.
Key elements of the treaty include plans to ramp up military and security cooperation and a pledge by France to back Germany's campaign for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. The agreement also seeks to harmonize the two countries' economies, to reinforce cultural and cross-border ties, and paves the way for the creation of a joint Franco-German parliament. The largely symbolic measures have been criticized by Europhiles for their lack of ambition, but were also slammed by Eurosceptics who fear they could erode national sovereignty. French far-right leader Marine Le Pen wrongly claimed the treaty would impose German language in some French schools and force Paris to share its Security Council seat with Berlin, while the German far-right has accused Macron of, quote, wanting to renovate his country with Germany's money. False allegations that were strongly rebuked by the French president.
Those who mock, those who spread lies, are hurting our history and the people which they claim to defend.
With the May European elections looming, Merkel and Macron hope the Aachen Treaty can help rally voters behind their common vision and quell the growing voices of populism in Europe.
So an overview there of this treaty. My first question then to both of you. The European Union is already a club of nations. Is this creating a very exclusive club within a club? Mr. Arthuis, perhaps come to you first.
It's not an exclusive club, but it is a specific partnership which was founded 55 years ago. The Traité de l'Élysée between the Chancelier Adenauer and General de Gaulle. And we have to reinforce, we have to reactive such objectives. We have to demonstrate that we are in a convergence. It's very uneasy to obtain convergence in Europe. Tax, social laws, labor. But maybe we can provide the example having a convergence of such legislations between Germany and France.
Would you agree, Mr. Lietz, because there have been criticisms of France and of Germany, both separately and together, for perhaps sometimes thinking that they're in charge of Europe, notably amid the Eurozone crisis?
Well, I agree that that is not an exclusion, but that goes a pair of two countries which have been enemies. And I'm very proud that we are actually topping what has been done 56 years ago, as this was all on the European integration process. And many of the things, if you look to the first treaty, has been now renewed on new topics. And what we have to do is not to have it as an exclusive, but still being open. And what I think is to go on the lead on some topics where we also have borders. So we will also talk about some content of the treaty, which includes the border situation between our both countries. But I think on the long run, it's important that we keep this partnership and we're trying to move the European integration process further and to deepen it. This is what has been done in the first treaty, and now we have new topics I guess we can talk about now.
Indeed. Well, there are many, many topics covered under this treaty, commercial, environment, climate change. I'd like to just quickly focus in on defence and military cooperation. It's a subject more broadly in Europe as well, moves towards a European Defence Union. Under this treaty, there is a greater coming together of France and Germany on military cooperation. But what would be the aim of that, really, if France and Germany, again, already part of the European, moves towards defence union, both members of NATO as well?
We have to demonstrate that it is possible to be more efficient and to save public spending, working together and having some projects. The wording is changing. A few weeks ago, Emmanuel Macron referred to European army. And some days later, Angela Merkel came to the European Parliament in Strasbourg and she said, this is possible. The wording is changing and probably the behavior will change.
Well, it's interesting you talk about efficiency, because that's something we've heard a lot about European partnerships in general. But of course, economies can be made in terms of sharing equipment, but what about conflicting aims? Traditionally, or since World War II anyway, Germany has been not the country that's been going forward into operations such as in Libya. France is still involved in North Africa, the Sahel, for example. German people, much more hesitant about that kind of thing. Can you anticipate a pushback on this aspect?
Well, I would like to pick on some things you have said. For example, on Mali, Germany and France is working together to secure the situation there.
But much more led by France.
Absolutely, but it's a joint effort. But I think efficiency and cost spending is important for all Europe. I'm coming from the Social Democratic Party, and we stand for a European army and pooling and sharing. That is in our party program. So even before Macron and Merkel said this is many years, but we have to now spell this out and to explain what that means. I think building capacity together, pooling and sharing, bringing the exercise of not having 15 kinds of tanks, but only 1 or 2 for the whole European Union, we can build the bridge into the European Union. We talk, our Foreign Minister Heiko Maas, on a European pillow inside the NATO. It will strengthen the NATO if European Union countries come together on the defense and their capacity. But what we have to come to agreement, and there's a different culture on, for example, how we export weapons. There's a common position, 2008, that we all export to the same countries or not. We have 8 criteria, but we still have to work on really identifying, as we have seen now in Saudi Arabia, that every country stands on a different viewpoint. That is an open question, but we can build and work on that step by step.
Well, there has been disagreement on, well, security rather than military matters in recent months. The German Vice-Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who is SPD like yourself, mooted converting the French seat at the United Nations Security Council into a European Union seat. Now, this was rebuffed by the French side. Right. The French Foreign Ministry is saying, no, you know, we want to maybe bring in Germany and Brazil, Japan, others into the UN Security Council. There isn't complete agreement on military and security matters between France and Germany.
That should be the achievement of a movement. But we have to demonstrate that the European Union is not only an addition of national self-interest. And defense is a major challenge. We have to demonstrate we are in the globalization. We have many challenges to face. And most of them are no longer under control of national states.
What I find very important was a statement by Olaf Scholz. If that would have come from the French side, that would have been a different one. But I really like the idea to strengthen the German ability to work is a permanent seat. I'm very happy that this is a part of the treaty, that France is supporting a permanent seat for Germany for this UN Council.
Do you think it will come off, though? Sorry to cut in, but I mean,
fine.
United States, Russia, permanent seats at the UN Security Council currently. Would they really want to see another individual European state have a permanent seat?
Well, for the European Union, as we have the Brexit discussion, it would be very helpful to have not only one state as the British were a member or are a member of the European Union and have a permanent seat. What I like in general on this treaty is that we strengthen multilateralism. And it was so great that Macron and Merkel made this clear also towards the US, our partner, that multilateralism is our prime goal and will be also, as we signed in the treaty, that both sides will work also more on UN missions. And so I think that is great fruit coming, and we have to integrate more the European level on that one.
Yes, we have to consider what will be every member state within 10 years, within 20 years, 30 years. In which rank at the world level will we be? We have to prepare.
Are France and Germany protecting themselves with this treaty?
We have to prepare more union, more convergence, and Germany and France have to demonstrate that we can do that.
Okay, well, I just want to talk about public opinion on this in just a second. And I wanted to first bring in a little bit of a fake news fact check about this treaty. Of course, it's been widely discussed on social networks in France and in Germany. Let's take a look. This is a fact or fake for this week. The headline of this fact check is France about to hand over its Alsace and Lorraine regions to Germany. That is indeed a claim that has been made and published and widely distributed by many web users online in recent days. Well, it originated with a now deleted video made by a member of this European Parliament. His name, Bernard Monod, a former member of the far-right National Front Party, now with the politically similar France Arise. Well, the video was reposted with a transcription by far-right blogger Christine Tassin on this website. The text she published records Monsieur Monod saying that France's President Macron will, quote, deliver Alsace and Lorraine to a foreign power. Another quote from the now deleted video, Macron will make Hitler's dream come true with France submissive to Germany and chopped up to enlarge Germany, end quote. Well, the blogger calls on Gilets jaunes protesters to distribute the story, a call which has indeed been successful, with the claim doing the rounds on sites like this Gilets jaunes Facebook page. The truth of the treaty is publicly available, however. It contains no mention of territorial handovers of any kind. Article 17 talks about strengthening cross-border cooperation between local communities, not a transfer of sovereignty. The final nail in the conspiracy theory coffin comes again from the treaty text itself, which says it, quote, respects the constitutional rules of the two states and European law. I'd just like to get some reaction from both of you to that fake news fact check. Mr. Lietz, coming first to you. People I've spoken to here in Alsace have been shocked to hear that this has been so widely shared.
Well, fake news is all over, and I really like that you bring this into your channel, that we discuss that. What we face as we are here in Strasbourg. I live on the other side in Kehl, and we just have a trolley which goes from France to Kehl, and people go shopping there because they live on both sides together. We have many teachers, and a part of this contract, the Élysée is the Aachen contract, is to actually nurture our regional cross-border communication and work, and I really like that. So it's actually good that this fake news is out there. We can discuss it. It's not true, but it shows the difficulties.
Adding fuel to the flames, perhaps, though, for perhaps the AfD in your country, which are talking about a Dexit, a German exit from the European Union, bringing up fears with people?
I think they said we're not calling it the Dexit. We don't give a deadline yet. Okay. Not to cause chaos, but this is actually what has already been caused by calling that they want to have a Dexit. The AfD, the right wing in Germany, wants to take the European Parliament away and the euro. Both will not happen, and so they will call somehow for the Dexit. And so this is the Brexit party of Germany, this is the Farage, and we have to call that this chaos should not be in Europe and not in Germany. people have to see if they vote for that party or not.
Mr. Arthuis, we just have a little time left for your reaction to this fake news that I think perhaps seems almost unbelievable to many people.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and it is an insult to European citizens.
But we are in an atmosphere where there is a lot of suspicion of politicians.
We have to develop trans-border cooperation. I visited some vocational training centers in Strasbourg. The learners are working on the other side of the Rhine. So we have to encourage such cooperation and make easier the mobility between Germany and France.
Perhaps is this another demonstration of this sort of distance that there seems to be for certain sections of the population, France and in Germany, and their elected officials, a mistrust that has evidently grown. Do you see a way of closing that? Just very briefly, we're running out of time.
We need trust.
Trust.
We need trust to be successful.
Mr. Lietz?
I think it's the same, and we're working so close together on climate diplomacy. So France is taking a lead. Germany is now also coming up stronger on that issue. So people will know that we can solve these problems only together, and France and Germany did a good deal already. So congratulations to this contract.
All right,
But we have progress margins.
Well, you're both optimistic, I think, for the future of this treaty, Franco-German cooperation. Thank you both for being with us.
Absolutely optimistic.
Thanks very much for your time. Thank you for watching as well. We'll see you soon on Talking Europe on France 24.